Working in retail is never easy, especially when you have to deal with a bunch of crazies. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Retail. Our first tale is from Ray Gun Wedge. Working in the meat department, I was stocking our processed section, hot dogs, bacon, prepackaged cold cuts, etc., when an elderly gentleman asked for my help. He was looking for some bologna that had a first name and a last name. I gladly pointed him to our admittedly limited section of that brand. "That's it?" he angrily commented as he looked at the 4 items we carried, then pointed at some beef bologna. "You don't have any smaller packages of that?" "No, I'm afraid we don't," I politely apologized. He then pointed to some salami, even angrier. "I don't like hard salami. Don't you have any cotto salami?" Still remaining calm and polite, I responded, "No, sorry, this is all we have." "Why don't you have more? They have lots more stuff than this," he said loudly. "I know, but I'm afraid this is all corporate will authorize us to carry," I explained. "Maybe one of our other stores in the area have what you need." "This is ridiculous. You don't have anything I want." He scowled, then yelled, "This is why I stopped shopping here 40 years ago." He stormed off, but not before a woman nearby chimed in. "This store's only been here for 20 years. We have not seen or heard from this man since. Perhaps in another 40 years he'll return and we will have his precious cotto salami." I like how he claims he stopped shopping there 40 years ago. The place hasn't even been there for 40 years, but yet if he stopped shopping there, then why is he back? You gotta love the claims these idiots make. This next tale is by Scytherism S. It was my birthday, and I was working the guest services desk at the department store I work at. I'm helping another guest with something and see one of my coworkers escorting this 50-something-year-old man who looks livid as hell to the desk. He slammed his bag he was carrying down on the desk and barked at me that he had a pickup order. I decided not to match his energy. It was my birthday, and dang it, I was going to be happy. So I'm about as cordial and polite as possible with this hollering man, who is literally hollering for no reason, as I try to get his pickup barcode to scan, or have him get out his ID to look up his name. He gives me his name and his wife's name, 2 different last names, and neither show up when I'm looking them up. He's increasingly getting more pissed as I make sure I've spelled the names right, try to see if my device is malfunctioning, etc., when I finally ask, "Sir, are you sure you placed a pickup order for our location?" To which he responds, "Of course I did. I come here all the time. This is other store location, isn't it?" "No, sir," I reply with the most polite smile I can manage. "This is our store location." The way he stared at me with his mouth agape, ego crumbling, his world falling apart, while I calmly smiled the whole time as he stammered and asked where our other location was better than any gift I could have received. He walked out without another word, still waiting for the inevitable bad review, but management likes me, so they won't believe what he comes up with that I did to cause this. If they leave a bad review, it just shows what's wrong with them, because honestly, they're the ones that made the error. It's not like you could magically snap your fingers and make their stuff appear at your store. They ordered at the wrong place. That's on them. This next tale is from 21st Homa. So this happened probably a little over a month ago, but I'm finally getting around to telling it. Few things to note. I work in a very popular retail chain, and our store is in a high theft area, so we deal with strange customers all the time. I also wear a sterling silver Byzantine chain while I work. This will be relevant to the story. First off, I'm not a manager, but I've worked for my company for almost 2 years now, and I'm a very fast learner, so I have a radio on me at all times, and I'm often asked to go deal with rude customers, as I can be trusted to handle it. Someone from our electronics department calls over the radio that they need help with dealing with an unruly customer, so I head over and see what I can do. It's just a dispute about the pricing on an item, so I just go ahead and take care of the customer and apologize for the inconvenience. The subject of this story is not the customer I'm helping, but the guy's standing like 5 feet away just staring at me while I'm helping them. This guy is giving me a kinda strange look, but I don't think much of it and I finish my job and go about my day. As I'm heading to the front, I can see out of the corner of my eye that this guy appears to be following me. I don't think much of it, and I walk really fast anyway, so I just keep walking and try to ignore him. I look back again, and this guy is literally crouch running after me, trying to hide behind the clothing racks in our apparel department, but he can very obviously be seen. Finally, he emerges, and I hear an "Excuse me, ma'am," from behind me. I ignore it at first until he goes, "Yo!" I then stop and spin around and with as much effort as I can say, "How can I help you?" He looks at me for a second and this is how our conversation went. "Where'd you get that chain?" "Oh, you like it? My friend gave it to me back home in a different state." "Are you sure you didn't get it from a female?" "Oh god. Yeah man, I'm pretty sure, unless her name is male name." Blankly stares at me for a few moments. "Are you sure your friend isn't a big booty bitch from Florida?" At this point, I'm literally trying extremely hard not to laugh, and we continue to go back and forth like this for a whole extra minute before he just goes quiet and stands there. I have no idea what else to do, so I just walk away from him. I was a little scared at this point, so I go tell my manager just in case. Now, when he stopped me, I was heading to break, so after telling my manager, I go to head outside for my break. Right as I'm about to walk out the door, while looking at my phone like a stupid person, the security guard who saw the whole thing yells my name. So I stop and I'm like, "What's up, man?" He just quietly nods towards the door and I look over and the customer is just standing right next to the outer doors as if he's waiting for me to go outside. I ended up having to be escorted out a different door by security to enjoy my break. They say he came back later that night, but I never saw the guy again. I don't know what his deal was, but this was the first time I was actually pretty freaked out by a customer. I mean, the way he was acting and the way he interrogated you about the necklace, it almost makes you seem like he had ill intent, like he wanted to take it for himself or for a family member or something. I'm glad security and your staff at your store had your back. And our final tale is by Artaisoa. Setup, small furniture shop, deals with the exceptionally strange every so often. Customer came in today and while I didn't have to deal with him, I did catch the end of the whole interaction. Customer walked in with his chair, which appeared to be very obviously used by, I don't know, a dog? It was wet and muddy. We also live in an area where it's been wet and rainy. This was for an outdoor patio set, like, designed to be outside. Cool. Not uncommon that people buy these. Returns girl doesn't know how to handle it. Guy is basically swearing at her that it doesn't hold up well outside and that the cushions are ruined and it's uncomfortable and he wants to return it. He's only had it outside for like a day. Manager comes over, checked out the chair, basically told the guy he would take it back but he could only be able to give store credit due to the heavily used condition. Guy loses his mind, screams that the chair hurts his back and that he's only had it outside for like a day. But then his story changed and said it sat out with this 80-pound dog in the backyard that's being redone and it's been too wet and rainy the last 2 weeks to really get used to it. Now, it's worth noting, all our chairs can be sat in store, so you can either set them up as they're folding, or you can sit in a display chair. Most people will, I don't know, try out the chairs. Manager states that the return policy specifically calls out that the items have to be in original purchased condition, as in not trashed, and that technically anything used would be a manufacturer's warranty problem, but that we're willing to let him have store credit for his chair. Obviously he took it because as he was walking to the door, I hear the following exchange.
"Yeah, well, customer service is lacking these days. In my days, they would have given me a new chair and my money back."
"Yeah, unfortunately, the policy is the policy."
"I'll never shop here again, that's for sure."
"No skin off my nose."
"Yeah, that's right. No skin off your nose considering you probably make minimum wage."
"Not exactly." Meanwhile, a couple walked in and I greeted them. This guy point blank starts waving his receipt around as he's being walked out by the manager.
Look, folks, I wouldn't buy anything here. They have no return policy.
So I look at him in my best cheery voice. Thanks for coming in, sir. Have a good day. The manager then looks at the people that walked in and goes, don't leave your 80-pound dog outside in the mud and then get mad when they destroy your patio chairs. We have a policy with all cashiers that started a couple years ago and with the new owners. Cashiers are required to notify customers that anything that shows signs of use is not returnable. If it is, it's subject to manager approval, and the customer is only eligible for store credit. So, having bought these chairs a couple weeks ago, there's no way he wasn't told about the policy. I don't know what this person expected, well I mean I guess I do, to return their massively used stuff to get their full money back, but unfortunately, or rather fortunately, in the world of business, that's not how things work. You have to love how they're trying to make stuff up for the customers coming in too, while still being denied. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Retail. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.